Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special Trek on Tuesday. Aaron, Maya, everyone's like, Maya, we're going to introduce you in just a second, Maya. But I always want to say we've got a NESA scholarship winner on with us, but you earned this. Maya earned this. She's a recipient, but
Maybe recipient is the right word. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
definitely. But today we're talking NESA scholarships. It's one of our favorite topics that we cover each year. And we are joined by an esteemed guest. Maya, thanks for joining the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to have Maya on. Just to fill everybody in, NESA, the National Eagle Scout Association, offers multiple college scholarships every year. That window, the application window, starts in about 25 days. So we're kind of here to get everybody ready for it. Our friends at NESA asked Gina and I if we could do a show about it. And, we had a choice. Gina and I could just talk amongst ourselves about it, but we thought maybe it might be better to bring someone who's actually interesting onto the show. And that leads us to Maya. Maya, maybe just introduce yourself to the folks watching. Tell us where you're from and where you are right now. Actually, it looks like you're somewhere kind of decorated and festive almost.
Yes. Hi, all. I'm Maya. I am from Dallas, Texas, Circle 10 Council. Woo! But I am at Charlotte, at University of North Carolina at Charlotte for college. And I'm in my wonderful dorm room here.
So Maya is an Eagle Scout. And she is one of the recipients, like we said, of a NESA scholarship. Congratulations belatedly, Maya. But we would love to talk to you about the process, applying for a process, how that whole thing went, just to let the folks know. As we said earlier, the application portal opens in 25 days. Behind the scenes, Brian is going to throw that URL up multiple times during the show today. So Maya, maybe just to kind of get us started, tell us how you learned about the NESA scholarship program and how the whole thing came about for you.
So I originally learned about NESA through my brother. He was before me an Eagle Scout, and always looking up to him. I was like, I'm going to get Eagle Scout. And when he got his Eagle Scout and started applying for colleges, my mom was like, there's a scholarship for Eagle Scouts. And that's how I found out about NESA. Well, when it came to my turn for finishing and completing my Eagle, I was asked to represent all National Eagle Scouts, all female National Eagle Scouts at the Jamboree for 2022, I think. And I actually was working for 2 weeks with the NESA committee there. From there, I got to learn really deep into what NESA is, their mission, what they stand for. And from that, I knew that I had to commit and apply for the scholarship. And to do so, I had to get a membership. Either there's a 4-year membership or there's a lifetime membership. And I recommend everyone getting a lifetime. It is amazing.
Fabulous. So as much as I was hoping you were going to say, oh, I saw it on the Scout Life Facebook, that's why I applied, you had a much better story, honestly,
Yes.
as to how this landed in your lap. We don't care how you find out about the National Eagle Scout Association scholarships. We just want you to spread the word to any Eagle Scouts who would qualify or might be interested in earning scholarship. And we were talking about, hey, why are we doing this 25 days before the portal opens? Why are we doing this on election day? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. We think, Eagle Scouts are definitely socially, publicly minded young people who may have an interest in getting an education or utilizing the resources that are available to them. And you might be trying to plan out how you're going to finance college right now if you're going next year. So this could be the solution for you. Really interesting to hear how you stumbled upon it, Maya, which you didn't really stumble upon it. It sounds like you kind of really worked your way into this. And shout out to Kaylee and Kim who are watching. We appreciate your time. I know you've had really a whole journey to get here, and hopefully we'll get into that a little bit in a minute. But something that I think is make or break for our viewers who are students. What's the process like? What is the scholarship program application like? Like, what does it look like? What was the time commitment? Be brutally honest with us.
It is much easier than doing the Eagle Scout application process. I looked at, it took me less than a day to complete my application, as I thought of it as more of a celebration of how I got to this point and how I want to get past and how I want to look onto life. So for me, I took all my Eagle Scout applications. I ran through it. I have a scouting resume, or just like my lifetime through scouting, and I've noted down all my awards, my accomplishments, what I personally thought was an accomplishment, and from that I wrote down the questions that NESA wanted, and I really honed in how I wanted what I wanted to do in the future. That is what they're really looking for, is what will the scholarship enable you in the future.
It's funny, Aaron joked at the top of the show saying we could have just talked about this amongst ourselves. That would have been a great disservice to our viewers for many reasons. But one reason is we don't qualify for this scholarship, Aaron. We're not Eagle Scouts.
That's correct. Yep.
Secondly is I reflect on how foolish I was about scholarships. Let this be my lesson to you kids if you're watching. I remember looking through at what they would be worth and thinking like, $1,000. Why would I do that? And just like toss it to the side, not give it any time. Like, how many of those would I have to do to make any difference to my mom and dad? And now I look back and think, if somebody had been honest with me and said this won't take you that long, I think I would have applied. So I think having that perspective from somebody who's actually not just applied but received one of these scholarships is really heartening.
Not just applied, but successfully applied. And Maya, I'm going to follow up on that here in just a second. But to be clear, we're talking about the National Eagle Scout Association Scholarship Program. There's the link. Thank you, behind the scenes, Brian. To be clear, the window opens up. I've got a clock here in front of me. 25 days, 9 hours, 52 minutes, and 40 seconds from right now is when the portal opens. You can only do it online, and you can only do it at that website right now. There are a couple other requirements. You obviously have to be an Eagle Scout, have to be a membership of NESA, also have to have your Eagle Scout Board of Review date before January 24th of next year. So just something to keep in mind. So, most likely you're probably going to be a senior in high school, I believe, right? You were a senior, Maya, when you went through the process. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And Maya, you mentioned this a second ago. They want to know about like your future, right? Like they want to know where their money's going to, right? Part of the application process is writing an essay. We actually did a show, Gina, I don't know if you remember it, last year. We talked to NESA has a very, very smart guy, very, very valuable resource that's available to help to provide advice about writing essays. Behind the scenes, Brian, there we go, right there. Thank you. Right on cue. Appreciate that. But Maya, I would love if you could maybe share your experience about specifically the essay part of the application. What was that like for you personally?
For me, the essay, as I said, it's a celebration of my successes through scouting. I kept a note of what was my scouting accomplishments up to that point, and I personally jotted those down prior to this essay. And then when reflecting on the essay, I right now can't remember what the question was about, but it was a year ago. But I knew that it was a happy process, and I really enjoyed being able to write down whatever that question was. I just enjoyed how I was smiling through it. It was like the only application process that I was grinning ear to ear writing about it. It was amazing.
I want to come back to that essay in just a second, but also want to clarify for all of our viewers. So if you're wondering, again, 25 days so you can start applying or apply for this. So think of December and January as your window to apply. You've got to be an Eagle Scout, or going to be an Eagle Scout. And then this is important. So yes, you can apply during your senior year of high school, but you can actually apply all the way up until your junior year in an undergraduate program, or the halfway point of your associate degree program or skilled trade program, if that's what you're in. So if you're in college now, you're an Eagle Scout, do not discount this. You still have an opportunity to apply. We're talking a little bit specifically about essays. Do you have any tips as somebody who has successfully landed one of these scholarships, Maya? Any tips you have for an essay writing in general when it comes to applying for scholarships?
Always had help looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time. What were the tips that I was given? Don't rush through it. Be happy when you write it. Be in the mindset that you're going to write it and you're going to win it. You're in it to win it.
That's such a golden tip. I don't think we've ever heard be happy when you're writing it. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense. And I just want to plug our viewership. We've got a great editor on Trek on Tuesdays. You just jump in here, leave a comment, and ask any grammar or editing questions, and you can get live feedback from Mr. Aaron Durr.
Not exactly, but you said something that's really interesting. Obviously you have to write the essay yourself, but you don't have to do it by yourself. It's okay to ask for advice, ask for help. Brian, behind the scenes, Brian just put that link up on the screen. There's some advice for you right there. Feel free to talk to the writer in your life, right? About how to best to communicate. By the way, the communication merit badge, I'm also a counselor. I recommend that highly. Maya, I want to point out, so you're from Texas, here in North Texas, actually not that far. I live in Frisco, by the way, so you're not that far from where I am. But I noticed your shirt says Charlotte. You're in the University of North Carolina in Charlotte right now. Tell us about the path that led you there all the way from Texas.
So for me, I fell in love with the campus. We were on a vacation and we just passed through this college just cause, and I was like, this campus is really beautiful. I'm gonna keep it in the back of my mind. And then I kept researching about this university, how it is such a really ADA accessible campus that I love seeing how there's anyone and everyone walking and wheeling on these roads and pathways, as well as they are one of the only colleges that I know that has a outdoor education minor, which is up the scouting alley of me. And they're this in Charlotte, which is the second largest financial banking center of America. So all these perfect opportunities, and I was just like, I think this place is for me. I walk around, and I know this is my home for college.
That's awesome.
It's also got a really cool logo that we're getting to look at. I love how they created the
yeah,
sea
it's super cool.
Yeah.
Jared says there's great barbecue out there too. So just FYI, Maya.
That made me laugh. And okay, this kind of blew my mind. We're actually looking at Maya's dorm room. She decorated it to look so cool. I don't know, you don't have to rotate your camera because I know you set it up nicely, but feel free because she also has some awesome national park postcards up on her wall. I'm very impressed with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to settle a debate? Sorry, really put you on the spot, and you can decline to answer. But Jared's saying the barbecue's not as good as Texas. Only you would know. You're the only one who's lived in both of these places. At least that's speaking live.
So I prefer the barbecue sauce from Texas. You can't go wrong. I don't like the vinegar based here. So if it's just solely based on the barbecue sauce, I prefer Texas barbecue sauce.
See, and she is not afraid to tackle the important topics.
Yes,
right,
we had no idea we were going to tackle such important issues today. It's amazing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we proceed with caution on this. Okay, anyway, back to the college experience. Do you feel like your NESA scholarship has improved your college experience in any way? And if so, how?
Yes, I first of all was able to go out of state, which is never in my dreams would I have thought I would have been given this opportunity. I've also been accepted and I'm in the business honors program here at Charlotte, which is amazing. I'm in an honors program, and I'm able to next semester for spring break, I'm going to Venice and I'm going to be learning the art and culture there. I am so excited. And all of this would have not happened if it wasn't for that NESA scholarship.
That is awesome. That was that's very, very cool. And Maya, you kind of touched on this. So are you a business major then?
Yes, I'm going into marketing. I love influencing people in business ways. And if it wasn't for NESA and working at that jamboree, I wouldn't have found that I truly loved marketing and helping others in that regards.
Let me throw you a question you're not expecting. NESA is bigger than NESA scholarships. You've already addressed that. How else has it impacted you being a part of the National Eagle Scout Association?
So I am gratefully a NESA subcommittee trainee member. So I work a part of Ross Arnold, who is the vice president of training, and I work under him, and I am learning so many great skills from NESA and the fellow members. It's like I get to be my own in scouting, but I get to evolutionize it and make it more adult version and more correlate to my business world. It is really amazing how it is.
Maya, I want to get into something real quick. You mentioned, I think, one of the reasons you liked UNC Charlotte is because it's an ADA compliant campus. That's, of course, I'm smart enough to know that's American Disabilities Act. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Gina. Didn't think I would know that, but I did. You had kind of or what sounds like maybe kind of a scary incident a couple of years ago. Can you tell us about that and what happened and how that affects you today?
So for me, my first ever year in scouting, I started to be very weak, very dizzy, and have horrible migraines. And it would really affect me in scouting in any way. It really was debilitating. And I dealt with these weakness, dizziness for about 2 years until I was like, enough's enough. And I went to the hospital and they diagnosed me with something called functional neurological disorder, which is the disconnect from the brain and the body, the misfiring of neurons in your brain. And it really did a 180. Having that answer, having the I know what's happening to me and I'm not crazy. I'm actually something's wrong with me. Really boosted myself. I went from that hospital to literally 2 months later hiking at Philmont. It has really helped me. And for me, my symptoms from functional neurological disorder, or shortened FND, is paralysis from the waist down, unable to see, hear, dizziness. I actually have a service dog to help me. She's right now doing really hard duties of sleeping. But if it wasn't for scouting being so supportive to me, I don't know if I would have been in this situation of being in college alone in another state.
You made me think of so many things, but one is just a reminder for us all. It's so easy to look at somebody and just assume, yeah, she's just this girl. She got a niece. You're dealing with a lot. You've dealt with a lot, and it's a good reminder for anybody out there who's like, I've got a lot on my plate. I can't do this. To know, hey, others have, and it's another reminder for our scout leaders and our parents to say, check in with your scouts. If they need accommodations, if they need, time to do something or to check something out, be there for them, or, whatever we need to do. Let me also just plug, if you're willing to share, is there anything that you would say, hey, be aware of, like, these symptoms in yourself to, like, what exactly people might be experiencing, to say, hey, let me consider that I may have this as well.
I Functional neurological disorder is so different across everyone. It's actually the second most common thing people go to neurologists for, right behind migraines. Usually for symptoms, if they're going to doctors and they're saying that what they're finding is false, make sure you follow up. If you have an instinct that your body is not doing well and you need to be seen, be seen. If that doctor's not helping, find another doctor who will. If you know something's up, speak up and speak out.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's super important because people just never know what they're experiencing. So thanks for advocating there and being willing to share with us. You're getting a lot of applause in the comments. People saying that's amazing. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I can imagine what a relief it must have been, Maya, like you said, to know finally to put a name on it, right? To be able to figure out what it is after a couple of years, I think you said, of experiencing these symptoms. We're so glad to hear that you've kind of got it under control. I think, right? I think you said you woke up this morning with some symptoms again. So it's something that is obviously with you, but that you were able to manage. I'm curious about your scouting experience with that. You said you went to Philmont. That's awesome. Was it extra challenging for you because of FND, or is that something you were able to manage pretty easily on a 7-day backpacking trek or whatever it was?
So I've actually been to Philmont twice. The first time when I went there, just being right out of the hospital, I'm really worried, but it's all about your mindset. If you think you can do it, you can do it. And from there, that's how I was able to go to Philmont twice and go to this Summit Bechtel Reserve at once, and hopefully I'll go again soon. So
Oh, I
all
bet you
about the
will.
mindset.
Yep, that's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah, you're deep into it. You're deep in the
Yes.
scouting. So that's for sure. Okay, I'm sure we have some time for some other questions if our audience has any, throw them our way. And you've alluded to this a little bit, but what's next? Where do you see yourself in a few years, in 10 years? What are you hoping to achieve?
Well, my hope is that at least for next semester, I am working with the Mecklenburg Scouting Council, and I'm hoping to practice doing wilderness first aid and teach that, as I love giving back to the community, especially the scouting community, and my skills with first aid and AED skills. But I'm also planning on going to working with them this summer at their trading post. But after that, I'm planning on getting my degree in marketing, hopefully going somewhere for fundraising. I love fundraising money, planning events, decorating, as you can see from my room. That is my plan. And
Gosh, maybe you need to work at the Boy Scout or at Scouting
Yes.
America.
We could use you at our offices, Maya, 100%. And I want to point out real quick to everybody that Maya grew up in Texas here, was involved in the Circle 10 Council. She now goes to college in North Carolina. Guess what she did? She reached out to the council there, connected with those folks, and got involved there too. That's a great inspirational thing right there. So many people, drift away from scouting right after earning the rank of Eagle for years and years, maybe a decade, until they have their own kids or something. Maya has continued to be involved. We appreciate that so much, Maya. I want to talk about something real quick I think we saw a picture of this earlier. You're an Eagle Scout, and that means you did an Eagle Scout service project. I don't think we've talked about that yet. Can you tell us what you did for your service project and what that was all about? I think Brian has a photo we can put up for us.
Yes. I created 2 ankle weight racks for my school's athletic training department. I have been a athletic trainer. I was a student athletic trainer for high school for 7 years, and I felt really passionate and I wanted to improve the training room. There was a lot of hazards on the ground due to there being no space for them. So I was able to fund enough money to create ankle weight racks, and we one Saturday morning created the racks, and the rest is history. Now I come into the school so often, and they're being used every single day. They find new ways of being used. There now is like a little barrier. And it's amazing what just my project has done for my school.
It's cool you can go back and see the effects. Can we go back to that first picture? If I have to draw up a visual representation of what an Eagle project is supposed to be, it's this. Look, she's got the volunteers. She's supervising. I don't know if it's staged, but it could be. It just looks so perfect. You there, you're leading a team. You've recruited others to help. I see adult volunteers. I see scout volunteers. Very cool.
That's people who really don't realize that Eagle Scout project is a leadership project, right? It's not something you do by yourself. Gina, I agree. That's a great photo because it shows the whole team there involved. We've heard so many people say that doing an Eagle Scout project helped prepare them for life, for college, right? Because you have to talk to so many people. You got to talk to adults, right? It can be a little bit intimidating.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. So it helped me create connections. Turns out 2 of my professors are Eagle Scouts and are active in the scouting movement, and if it wasn't for me being I'm an Eagle Scout, they wouldn't have told me that. And now we have a close bond, and I'm really into these topics now.
Yeah, you have to keep that on your resume for sure. I always
and guaranteed A's in those classes, Maya. Did they say that by chance?
I wish.
They wouldn't expect less of an Eagle Scout.
Exactly.
You got to earn it.
Exactly.
So, I just think when I meet an Eagle Scout, I just generally know, hey, this is going to be a really cool, good, well-rounded person. So really love that. My next question eluded me in the excitement over that, of learning that. I feel like that happens quite a bit.
I'm sure it was a good one. Maya, thanks so much for joining us today. This has been awesome. Any other final thoughts you'd like to share about your experience in scouting? Oh, Gina just remembered her question.
I thought of my question. Okay, Eagle Scout, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Which
Okay.
was harder, the NESA scholarship application or your Eagle Scout project?
My Eagle Scout project.
Okay, see everybody? Okay, what was harder, NESA scholarship application or college application?
College application was much harder.
Okay, everyone at home, there's no reason not to apply. Can you think of another one, Aaron?
No.
Okay, yeah, there's nothing else that could possibly be compared.
There's
So,
nothing else.
the
Well,
the
you probably had to write essays in college.
Mhm.
How does that compare to the essay you wrote for your NESA application?
These essays are much harder here at college,
There
and
you go.
more research.
This is
Yeah.
good, guys. It's
It's
not
really,
hard to
I
apply.
can't think of a reason. If you're an Eagle Scout, I can't think of a reason why, number one, you wouldn't join NESA, and why, number two, you wouldn't apply for a scholarship. And by the way, if you're watching this and you have a younger scout who's only a freshman or sophomore in high school, they do this every year, so you'll have an opportunity to apply for the 2026 season. We're kind of talking about the 2024-25 season right now. So this is something they do every year. So keep that in mind. Maybe it doesn't apply for you right now, but it will in the future.
Or the next year. So is it fair to say if you have achieved Eagle, you've already done something harder than applying for a NESA scholarship, right?
Oh yes.
Okay. There's no reason not to
We
apply.
settled it. I think we settled it.
Set the reminder on your calendar. Remember, you got the months of December and most of January to apply. Or like Aaron said, mark your calendar for a few years from now if you're not quite a college senior yet. If you're already in college, you still have a chance to apply until your junior year. Okay, Aaron, now we can get to what you were asking. What have we missed, Maya? Is there anything else you want to say to those folks out there thinking about applying?
I just believe you should do it. Don't regret not doing it. Live your life to the fullest. It takes just one day of writing, and the rest is history. Who knows? You could be me talking to these amazing people next year or in following years.
We have a really important message for you from the executive director of NESA. Maya, certainly reach out to us when you graduate. I'm going to assume that has to do with your desire to do some fundraising.
Yes.
That is how things like these NESA scholarships are available, is through fundraising. So thank you to the good folks, the donations behind these scholarships as well.
Yeah, thanks for watching, Joe. We appreciate that very much. Maya, this has been great. Thanks so much for joining us. As a reminder, behind the scenes, Brian has put the URL up again. You can get a lot of information there. We're now down to 25 days, 9 hours, 31 minutes, and 40 seconds until the portal opens. Don't roll your eyes at me, Gina.
I'm stressed. I've only got 25 days before I can start applying.
There's more information about the different types of scholarship. There are different types of scholarship, different tiers of scholarship for different amounts. All of that is available on the NESA website. But like we said earlier, every little bit counts. Maya, we've talked to folks who, they were able to live in a specific apartment or dorm that they would not have been able to live in otherwise because of their NESA scholarship, able to study abroad, different things like that can be made possible by a NESA scholarship.
Maybe.
Yes.
Exactly. Very much. This has been great, Maya. Thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on being an Eagle Scout, joining NESA, earning a NESA scholarship. That's awesome. UNC Charlotte, go. What's the mascot?
Go Niners.
Go Niners, Gina. You were going to say
Yes.
that probably, but I'll say it first. Go Niners.
Yes.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you all for watching at home. We appreciate it. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Gina. Good job. See you all next week. Bye, everybody. Go vote.